Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Eliza at Eliza Journals. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. So today I just want to give you an update of the Nahvalur Eclipse, the gold one that I purchased about, I would just say like the beginning of August. So I had pre-ordered it. If you're new to my channel, basically I'm going to give you a synopsis if you have not seen my Twisby review video. So what ended up happening was Nahvalur came out with their own retractable fountain pen, and I told myself that I would love to try that. So what did I do? I pre-ordered the pen from a retailer, and I waited a month. So when it finally arrived, I mean, it wrote amazing. It was beautiful. It's amazing. I absolutely adore the pen. As soon as I started writing with it, maybe like 2-3 minutes after I started writing with it, it started dripping ink. And I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe the feeder is just too full. So I let all the ink out, flushed it out, re-inked it. Same thing with the other ink. So the first ink was Diamond Dusted Truffle, and it did have shimmer. So I thought, okay, maybe the shimmer is stopping the ink flow, and it's causing it to, I guess, just bubble over. I don't know. So then I inked it with Colorverse Haho Mask, and that is a little bit drier ink. So then I'm thinking, okay, I just inked this with a drier ink. And at first, for the first 2-3 minutes, oh my gosh, writing amazing. The next thing I know, bloop, blobbing out ink while I'm writing. So I said, okay, let me contact the retailer. I contact them. They said, hey, no problem, we'll exchange it. Amazing customer service, and I will reveal them at the end of the video. So amazing customer service. So they sent me a new pen. I returned the other one. I got it within 2 days. Inked it up. So I untwisted it, inked it up. Top wouldn't go back on. Okay, so I had to literally make the top twist back on, you know. And I'm thinking like, okay, I think the grooves are stripped because it won't swivel back on. So I managed to just get it on. I literally forced it back on, which is insane. And I didn't have that problem with the first pen. So I inked it back up with Colorverse Haho Mask again. Oh my gosh, wrote amazing. The issue was this one, okay, getting the top back on and getting the top on and off. 2 minutes later, bloop, dripping ink. Why is this happening? Okay, so the next day after that, I just sent them a video and saying, hey, it's still dripping ink, and now the top is having trouble twisting back on. They say, hey, you know, I'm so sorry, no problem. We'll just send you back a replacement. I said, you know what, at this point, I'm frustrated. I don't want to keep taking y'all through this at all. So I'm basically just going to exchange this pen for some different items. But first, I was like, let me contact Nahvalur and let me see if they could just send me a replacement pen. You know, because I really wanted to keep the pen. So anyway, so I emailed them. I hadn't heard from them. It was like day 3, day 4. Hadn't heard from them. So I told the retailer, I said, you know what, just go ahead and I'm just going to exchange the pen. They was like, well, would you like for us to contact Nahvalur like for you to see if they can like troubleshoot the problem? I was like, no, because at this point I'm fed up. Like, I literally wasted all my money on this pen, ordered it a whole month, and now it's just not working. I'm just going to order some other things, because they were literally willing to send me a third replacement. And I know that once you kind of use pens, I know most tailors, they don't take refunds because they can't sell them back. So just the point of them even saying, hey, you know, we'll just exchange it a third time, I mean, the customer service is beyond amazing. So anyway, with that being said, after I did my exchange with them, told them what I wanted for the pen, returned the pen back, Nahvalur ends up emailing me and saying, hey, we're really sorry, maybe those 2 pens missed quality analysis. I'm like, I know they did, because I told y'all they did. They had to. Like, how 2 pens in a row from the same retailer is defective. So clearly y'all didn't, y'all didn't test this before y'all sent it out. So anyway, Nahvalur said no problem, because in a way I did tell them I would like a pen from them. I really did. I was a little aggressive, and usually I'm very docile. Like, I'm not very confrontational, but I was really fed up because I'm like, I really want this pen. I did not want to exchange this. So they were like, we'll send you a pen from us. So they ended up sending me a pen, and this is why I'm doing this video, so I can pretty much update everyone, and we'll just kind of go through the pen again. So if you didn't see my initial review is the TWSBI video, which I will link that video below in the description if you want to go check that out. I'm not really good with linking the cards to the time because I just don't have time for that. I'm not like an editing software queen. So I will link that video below in the description if you want to see the initial review. Okay, so the box came a little bent, but that's all right. I really didn't like how it was warped. Like, I'm very funny about packages, but I understand. So it took about a week to get here. So this box is a little beat up. And yeah, it is kind of, it's kind of a little beat up, but I just want to see if it's gonna work. So they did send me a fine nib. I told them to send me a fine nib because I didn't even see any extra fines. So I told them I want the same pen, but I want a fine nib. And like the last video, it does not come with physical instructions. It comes with a QR code for you to follow the instructions. So basically there's really nothing. It's just a pretty little box. So this is just how it comes, and comes in like this plastic, and then this is how the pen looks. So I hope y'all can see that. The pen is beautiful. It is 18 karat gold. It is solid gold. And the only thing I would say that I didn't like about the pen, it looks a little different online, because online the pictures are, I guess they're like the resolution, I guess, is increased maybe a little bit, so it looks a little bit more gold. Like this clip, it looks a little bit more gold like the clip than it does in person. So like I said, it has 24 facets around the pen. I think it has like 12 at the bottom, 12 at the top. So this pen actually comes with a gold nib, and the gold nib is pretty much very similar to the Pilot Vanishing Point. Let me show you. So all this is in my last video. So this video is pretty much just like an update. So if you have a regular Pilot Vanishing Point, it is very similar to this Nahvalur Eclipse. So they did a good job at replicating a Pilot Vanishing Point. So it is definitely the same. In like the last video, for instance, if you're on here and you're new to my channel and you didn't see the last video, or you didn't see my Instagram post, the nib unit for the Pilot Vanishing Point will work with the Nahvalur Eclipse. So if you're having a problem with the nib unit for the Nahvalur Eclipse maybe dripping, you can actually use the Pilot Vanishing Point nib unit. The only difference is when you use the Pilot Vanishing Point nib unit, the nib will be a lot shorter, not a lot, just a tad bit shorter than the Nahvalur Eclipse, because if you can see the Nahvalur Eclipse, the nib is a tad bit longer than the Pilot Vanishing Point. So I can just put this here and then this here, so you all can actually see it retract, both of them retracted. So If you can see that, you can tell that the Nahvalur is a little bit longer when it's retracted than the Pilot Vanishing Point. So when it's not retracted, this is pretty much how it looks. So it's still a lot, well, not a lot, but it's still just like maybe like a half of an inch, maybe not even an inch, like maybe 3/4 of an inch longer. I'm not good at measurements either, so don't quote me. So that's pretty much how it looks like. That's how it measures up. Okay, so this particular video, I am going to ink this up and just do a pen test just to let you all see if it drips or not. We're gonna wait 2 minutes and then I'm going to see if it drips. So the way that you unscrew this, you have to like hold it down. This is the part that I don't like. You have to hold it down to unscrew it, which a Pilot Vanishing Point, you just twist it. Okay, then it comes up. So I have the Colorverse High Ho Mask. I got this from Atlas Stationers, and after you see the color, if you really like the color, you can tell I pretty much use it because it definitely looks like I've been using it. You can actually use code Joy Letters. That is not my code. That is, I'm gonna say she's my friend. Her name's Harmony, but she is an affiliate for Atlas Stationers, and you can get 10% off if you want to purchase this ink, or you can use it to get anything from Atlas Stationers. And that's just to let y'all know that. So that's where I got that from, is Atlas Stationers, because at the time I could not find this color. So I'm going to use a syringe. So I literally have a bag of syringes. I don't know, this morning for some reason my syringes were not working, which was very, very weird. They were not working, and I'm not sure why, so I may have to order more, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to use the syringe I bought from Goulet Pens. And I love using syringes too, because one thing that I know is that sometimes when you dip your pens, you need to make sure that the nib is clean, because if it's pretty much like cross-contamination. If you dip a dirty nib into clean ink, you can cause it to mold. So to be honest, I really just like using syringes because I clean these with, dishwashing liquid. So they're pretty much clean when I use these. So I haven't had any issues with any molding so far. So this, you just take out. And the difference with the Pilot Vanishing Point nib, I have ink in the Pilot Vanishing Point, so I can't really take it out so you can see it. The Pilot Vanishing Point has these balls, and then it has like a thin piece of plastic where the balls are, so that the ink, number one, it doesn't drip out extremely fast, and the balls are to prevent the ink from drying. Kind of like when you go to the nail salon, you see those silver balls in the nail glue, the nail polish. That's pretty much like one of the reasons for that. So we're gonna go ahead and ink this up. I'm only going to ink it up to about 1/4 way, because I literally wasted tons of ink last time. So I'm only going to ink it up to about right there. And as you can see, it's still some ink in here, which I absolutely hate wasting ink. So that's why I try to get as little bit as possible. I'm not going to worry about putting the ink back in here, because once the ink touches the air, it's just say it's used. So I'm going to put this in here, and then we're going to put this back in here. So this little, I guess, groove knob, or little knob fits inside of the groove, just like the Pilot Vanishing Point, so that you know where to enter the pen back in. When you get ready to reassemble the top, you have to push it down, and then you have to twist it back on until it's tight, and then bring it back up. So now we're gonna like wait for a couple minutes. I'm gonna like hold this like this because we're gonna wait for like a minute before we actually do a pen test. So this is actually, while we're waiting, this is actually like my swatch book that I just use for social media. I have like 2 of these things, which is ridiculous. But I just play with my ink sometimes and just swatch them. But I really use this for my social media and doing comparison between different types of paper in here. So I really like doing that. So as you can see, I play with my inks in here. So I literally sometimes have to find a page that is clear. So these are all my Jinhao pens. And then here's more inks. So now I do my pen test in the back of this book. So as you can see, I have like a couple that I've done. I try to be consistent, but sometimes I just write everywhere. As you can see. So this was from my Twisby review. Like I said, I will link that video below in the description. So let me right up here pen test. So this, I love my liners. So hopefully it's kind of dripped down, I guess. So now the other thing that I don't like about the Nahvalur is that when you want to retract it, you have to like hold this, or you have to hold some piece. You have to grip something in order to push it down. So like the Pilot Vanishing Point, you just push it down with the knock. And this one is like, you see, like if I hold this, you can't just push it down. Like you have to grip something below, because the facets are the facets are the characterization of it retracting. Which is, I love it, but it's in the way of it just fully retracting on its own when you push this. So this whole top has to be retracted in order for the pen nib to show. So you usually hold this and then retract the nib. So hopefully the ink has went to the nib and we're ready to like test this. And for those who complain about my handwriting, I'm sorry. Sometimes when I zoom in, I can only zoom in so far, and then you have to realize that when I'm writing, these are fine nibs and extra fine nibs. So I'm very sorry if you all feel, or some of you all feel like, hey, you write too small and you need to zoom in. Sometimes I zoom in all the way as much as I can, and I still write small. So I'm extremely sorry if this is small, and it's not like it's intentional, but I'm sorry. Okay, so, and I would try to swatch this as big as I can, and I will try to literally write this as big as I can, but I'm not a big writer. So now if I had a medium nib, I probably would write a lot bigger. So let's see. Okay, the ink hasn't flowed down to the nib yet. Okay, so I am back. That literally took about 10 minutes, y'all. Not even joking. And just to let you all know, this Colorverse Haho mask is a little dry. It is a very dry ink. And it is very dry on this 160 GSM bullet journal. So trying to write as big as I can, but this is a fine nib. So you probably could barely see the color. So far, I don't see any dripping, but I did just have an issue off camera getting the top back on. See, I had this problem the last time. I'm so confused as to what makes the top so hard to go back on. Like, I don't know. Okay, so the cons is it's a beautiful structure. The color is gorgeous. I really love the body of the pen. The body of the pen is amazing. The nib writes really, really good. It literally writes like a Pilot vanishing point, to be honest. The nib is amazing. I have no issues with the nib whatsoever. I have not seen any blobbing of ink. So far it is not leaking ink. Like the structure of the pen is very beautiful. The cons is that the facets are in the way of it retracting normally, like you would a normal pen with a knob. Like, you literally have to hold the body of the pen in order for it to retract. I really don't think they thought that through. That's really not effective as a pen writer, to have to utilize the bottom of the pen to hold it to retract it. I really don't like that. Also, I really don't like that when you get ready to untwist this to re-ink it, it's very hard for me to get the top back on. And I've looked at the instructions and I'm doing it correctly. It's something that has to do with this top here. It's like I'm happy, but I'm not like overjoyed like I would if I had a Pilot vanishing point. However, the pen, it is a very stylish pen. The nib is great. It writes amazing. It's very smooth. I'm not really sure if this was really a good purchase, to be honest with y'all. I would never get on here and just say that I really, really love something that I don't. I just really hate the fact that I have to uncap this and then cap it back, and then when I get ready to cap it back, I'm having a hard time getting it to reassemble. It should not be that hard. Anyway, so just let me know your comments. If you have this pen, do you have some advice? Do you have any suggestions? And just let me know what you think about the video. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.